Welcome back, people. Today is February 5th, Saturday, 2022. I'm going to show you some fun stuff. Good news. Listen to me. We never made comments, did we, about how wrong and bad some things were, but rather, just solutions, which is really the greater of the two things to do. But I just want you to know, all this talk, I'm just looking at this wonderful news service that we get. Do you see? This one that we get, it's Axios, A-X-I-O-S. Pretty good snapshot, guys, of things going on. I'll show you a picture of it here. See, Axios AM, free. You can subscribe. Very good capsule. They're pretty good. They're kind of a newish news and not so old mainstreamy, and they're pledging and trying to give you a better picture. They're real good in most areas. So here it is. I'm going to give you a little bit of good news. So I wrote down here, well, that's it. No more. All this talk about you have bad things going on or how bad things are, and no hope. Rubbish. Yeah. Unhandled, yeah. But it's never been that way. When you've had your job, something online, you go handle it, or at home with the kids or something, you handle it. Come on. School, your team messed up a play, you go back in the huddle, and your name's Tom Brady. You came back and answered the bell. You see? Pretty good, wasn't he? I like that new one. What's his name? Man, is he good. The guy with the Chiefs? Woo! Guy's something else. They're all good. It's very close, isn't it? The gap. It's only a slight gap, or it wouldn't be a game. But it's a consistent gap. So, here's the good news. Look at, we always talked about solutions, but remember, yes, Reagan and Gorbachev, we talked about them, those 4 fancy meetings called summits over a 2-year period. No more nukes. Big bad Russia, all the bad stuff they'd done, and they had done bad things, not us. You can get people to come around and be who they really are. Reagan and Gorbachev, no more nukes. Short, mid-range, gone. They didn't have long range then, and they really don't still, I think. Anyway, and then on to the other countries. They weren't there long enough, and as we said in prior talks, Trump came in and got North Korea guy, the same thing, jumping out of his skin. He said, yeah, we're young. We want to go forward. Yeah. Trump's own guys kind of went behind Trump's back and, trashed the guy, saying, hey, scummy, you get rid of your nukes. We keep ours, you see. So that undid it. And then when he withdrew, so Kim Jong-un, the North Korea leader, withdrew, the press say, oh, he quit. No, he didn't. Similar, just for a little note to bring to date, Tucker Carlson out of Fox went against the grain. He said, what? Russia's not the aggressor. It's the U.S. plus NATO, in this case. The great two groups, but doing something they shouldn't do. They aren't what they do. They do mostly good, but this isn't so good. Okay, so it's we. Yeah, we're the aggressor. And it's easier to think it's Russia because easier to believe a statement like that against Russia because, again, they've done such wrong things. Well, they have. And in fact, having moved into that Crimea area, whatever that wasn't okay. No, well, we've been the occupier, haven't we? The regime changer, disruptor. I appreciate Tulsi Gabbard, that incredibly beautiful thing out of Hawaii, the congresswoman, who told the truth. You remember she was in that debate panel of Democrats to see who might get nominated, and she didn't get nominated. She sort of withdrew from those people after because she didn't like the kind of socialistic portions that some of them were doing. But she told it true. That she said, hey, instead of regime changes, instead of bombs, let's do bridges. Let's build things at home. She's kind of independent. I like this. Just reviewing things that we have said to you good people who are the same as Tulsi Gabbard. So Reagan and Gorbachev really did a number, right? Trump with North Korea, yeah. And Biden, his intentions, he didn't want any wars, not Biden. And he has his guys out there, but maybe talk a little harshly. Watch. Yeah. Florida governor said, hey, no federal, this is about the vaxxing, no federal mandates. We're an independent state. He isn't against vax. Or that there's a flu. No. He's just saying, let's manage it a little better. Yeah, guys are getting together. The tide is turning. We've always had flus. My God, there was that bad one way back, what they call the Spanish flu. that came out of Kansas of all places. It doesn't matter, but millions died globally. It happens. It happens. All right. Good. Anyway, nukes. So they're talking in Axios about nukes. I'm going to show you this. Instead of me talking, I'm going to show you. Yeah. Now, Pence gave a talk saying no. He found this that Trump was wrong. I, as a vice president, have no right to overturn any election, especially based on things that weren't true. Okay. So the headline is one big thing. Our country's going to hell. Oh, what's that? Who says that? He says this. Here, he says, the Republican National Committee attacked their own Liz Cheney and this other guy, Adam Kinzinger, right? For their membership, positions. They didn't like what they're saying. You see? Yeah. I didn't like them. Mitt Romney, a Republican, went against his bunch saying, shame falls on a party that would censure persons of conscience who seek truth in the face of vitriol, right. So Liz Cheney, and this Adam Kinzinger kind of went against the Republican grain, and Mitt Romney stepped up. So Mike Pence, he rebukes, he censures, he scolds Trump, saying Trump was wrong, and how he, as a VP, again, had no power and obligation to overturn the election results certified by the states. Trump put out his own statement, get this, hours later, going against Pence, rebuking Pence for thinking him. He's after Pence for trashing Trump, for rebuking Trump. Listen, and Trump closed with his take on the state of America. Our country is going to hell. Close, but you didn't get to hear what he said all the way. He probably meant if unchecked, if unhandled. Well, they're handling. Speaking of not handled, they're handling some of the messes that some of the Trump people did. Biden got elected. The Trump people got Biden elected. And first, order of business is to get things straightened out. So Biden's facing a few issues. All right. So here's the point. Yeah. So it says here why it matters. These are nice little pieces they write here. All right. Yeah. Is Joe Biden, the question is Joe Biden the lawfully elected president? That's actually a question. It was January 6th, an insurrection? Yikes. Yeah. The correct answer is often no. The Republicans say no. Biden wasn't elected, and January 6th wasn't an insurrection, Okay. Oh. If you want to win a contested Republican primary or make a serious play for 24, you have to say they weren't real. Biden's not real, and the January 6th thing wasn't wrong. Yeah. If you say yes, Biden was elected. If you're a Republican, say yes, Biden was elected. And we're going to get to a good news thing. Yes, you say Biden was elected, right? And the January 6th thing was what? Hell, you get censored and you get defeated. Okay. Then they talk about record hate crime. They're telling all this bad news. Gee, I'm building up Axios. It's been good. Okay. Unhandled, there are things, right? A pipe is leaking at home. Yeah. Should that be on the news? Why? Because you're on the phone with the plumber. Tell the plumber come over. Why are we bang this? A thing Trump said was correct. The media's your enemy. No, not all. No. Democracy Now! What's her name? Goodman, that nice lady. Oh my God. Megyn Kelly went away from mainstream media. Okay, and she tells a real neat thing, and some others. Stephanie Rule, really like her. So here we go. So hate crimes have skyrocketed. Yeah. They're telling us things. Alrighty. So let's move on. Here's something that's really interesting. The world is the sickest in 100 years. But remember, a lot of these people testing aren't sick, so they have to get coordinated a little bit, don't they? Yeah. A lot of them that died, most that died were over 75 and had something else wrong: cancer, lung, liver, kidneys, that kind of thing, and pneumonia. Yeah. So anyway, but it's peaked in many areas. But February will bring similar caseloads to the hospitals. They're reviewing all this. Okay. Yes. They're reviewing all this. But here we go. And then there's an ad. Now here, bad news. Labor supply. Labor supply disruptions expected to persist. Really? They're saying. The people writing this are expecting it. Are the people handling it expecting it? See? I like a thing this guy wrote. Who's this guy we told you about, Hubbard? Oh, God, let's demonize a good guy, you know? He said something very colossal, all-encompassing, sweeping, and he says, never believe a word he said. Check it out. Just like, how's the weather? We'll look outside. Yeah, weather's nice, but no. If you look outside and see that it's not nice, well then, you know, you've got reality. So here it is. So this thing about how labor supply disruptions are expected to persist, really. And all the details about that. Now here's one. China, Russia use Olympics to partner against the West. Oh my God. See, really? You're implying that they're going against the West. You're theorizing, you're implying, you're getting us to be concerned about that. We're getting to a big point here, people. Yeah, we are. The thing that Hubbard said that I like, it's all-encompassing. He said, no matter how bad, for real, because you can look back and see it, the plumber, leaking pipe, right? No matter how bad anything is, this, that, whatever, just remember one thing he says. Remember one thing. Something can be done about it. Why? Because, see, when you have a problem, remember we told you the little demo? Sorry about the mask, it's fashionable, COVID. When you have a problem, that's negative. It's coming at you, your effect, oh my gosh, this, that, whatever, right? It's coming this way. The direction of energy is called the vector. The vector is coming at you, oh gosh, this, that, I'm affected. But if you even have a thought, wait a minute. How a thought happened. Everything occurs after a thought. You decide to take a look, confront it. The minute you do, you're going at it, confronting it, duplicating it. It's not coming at you anymore. No, you went at it. This is it's so simple, it's stupid simple. Yeah, it's stupid simple. We get so thrown off. Hey, we're not stupid, but we get thrown off. Wow, now what do we have? What do we have here? This is interesting. I find it really interesting. Yeah. You're at it, you confront it. And this chapter in this book by Hubbard called New Slant on Life, Scientology New Slant on Life, a chapter in there on confronting. When you go to confront something, first of all, you're not backing up, you're coming at it, and then you duplicate it. The minute you duplicate it, it vanishes. Because there's a law, axioms are self-evident truths. An axiom, an example is, if I let go of the pen, it'll fall. And the doing is the proof. I ask her to believe nothing, you know. Our friend gravity brought it down. I got that, but the fact is, if you let go of it, she's going down. Outer space, now it'll float. But we're not in outer space. I don't think. We're here. We are in outer space, but on this one. Gosh. No, we're not in outer space. So here's a law, an actual axiom myself, and you can check it out. There's a list of these at number 38. About problems. Not confronted. There they sit. Oh, gosh. Right. In order for a problem to persist, that means to keep on or continue. In order for a problem to persist, it must contain a lie. There's a lie somewhere. Ooh, that's good news. Yeah. It's being continually, newly created. Or there's a lie sitting there that keeps it persisting. Whatever. You go think about it. Go get the chapter on confronting it. It's magic. Yeah. Anything you've ever handled is because you said, wait a minute, I'm going to take a look at this. You're duplicating to go figure out a way. Call the plumber. You saw what it was. Oh, the water. What's that puddle of water flowing in the kitchen? Ooh, open the cabinet below the sink. Pipes leaking. Call the plumber. You get your wrench and tighten it, right? End of the story. You're no longer affected. The wife is screaming, we're flooding. There's a flood. It must have rained. No. What's this puddle? My. You see, it's so simple. It's stupid simple. It wasn't a problem there to go and confront it and get rid of the problem. No, that was not a But other things, it doesn't matter what is wrong, bad, no matter how bad this, that, whatever. Hubbard says, quote, something can be done about it. How many times? Let's stop for a minute. Have you done things about things? I'm counting tens, you hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. We'd have to get into our prior lifetimes, so that's a big one. Teachers solve things every day for the kids right in the classroom, every day. For how many days a year? 200 and some? 300 days a year? Yeah. They walk around the class and help each one that's a little stuck with a math problem or a spelling or reading or something, huh? Yeah. Every day they handle things. The guy's stuck. The student's stuck. The teacher's what's this? Get him to see whatever, the whole thing. Yeah. Get in front of. Oh, there it is. I see it in blue. So the Winter Olympics open in Beijing, China. In Beijing, China and Russia declared no limits partnership. Oh, let's promote this whack against America, right? Right? No limits partnership. You see? You know why they're doing this? There's a reason why they're doing this. This claim of, right, or reality of, Russia and China getting together, right? Because we, Tucker Carlson, Mr. Anti his own Fox warmonger bunch of boys, said, wait a minute, Russia's not the aggressor here. The U.S. and NATO, thinking that's the right thing, of course. Meanwhile, so China and Russia, they're trying to show, how China and Russia now are going to take on the U.S. Well, if so, you're forcing them. It's called creating an antagonism. Don't do it. No, I'm borrowing terms I got from Hubbard. Don't create antagonisms. Come on. Until you get your own layers of life lifted, then you won't have that junk, that garbage that drives you unknowingly. We talked about it in our last little chat. Listen to it. Best gift you'll ever have, his homework. Yeah. So China and Russia declare no limits partnership, backing each other on Ukraine and Taiwan. Oh, God. Taiwan's the big maker of chips. If they block Taiwan, we're out of chips. We're done. We're done making cars, computers, whatever. We're done. We're working on our own big factory, and the big one in Taiwan is opening one in the U.S. Oh, yeah, got to do your homework, guys. But they aren't telling you that. No. Why don't people work together? Huh? We talk about all the wrongs and horrors that China's doing, right? But isn't Apple a big company? Computers and phones, right? But they're made in China for 3 cents an hour. Who's abusing whom? You see, let's get it all out there. I like this thing, a panel. A panel is it's called a committee of evidence. A committee of evidence is a fact-finding body composed of unbiased or impartial people. Yeah. That's what Congress is supposed to be, and it often is. They do a lot of good, and then some things aren't good. Well, go fix it. Yes, you can. Yeah. You can volunteer, get on a committee, be paid staff, or run for office. Welcome to work. People look at you and say, God, look at your job. You got a profession, a small business, whatever. You think, Jesus. You have both the ability and the right to tell that person, so could he if he wants to. You can see whether she could, and do it. Yeah. Come on. Okay, good. Yeah. So again, as the Winter Olympics open in Beijing, China and Russia, oh man, we don't hear the meetings they had. Oh my God. They were good guys and friends. We used to be. Reagan and Gorbachev got it going again. You know what Reagan did with Gorbachev? Now he said no more nukes. Remember he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. The wall separating East and West Berlin, a city. That's the city. Hey, they tore the wall down, all the people looked at each other and said, we don't hate each other. Yeah. People grabbed chunks of the wall for souvenirs, right? He got Gorbachev, Reagan did, to be Gorbachev again. He didn't get him to do anything that isn't Gorbachev. He got Gorbachev. You see, when wrongs are happening, right? Before they're happening, they weren't. The guy's always good to start with. The stuff that's wrong, that's later on stuff, those are lies. Go to the truth of the guy, you, your children, and the lies blow. They got a method there. It's called Scientology. Oh my God, let's demonize that, huh? What's up? He got Gorby, not only tear the wall down. Yeah, what the hell is Gorby? He's from Gorbachev, Mike, and his wife, Raisa. Why do we know his wife's name? Because they were hanging around a lot, Raisa. Gorby is from Russia. Why is he in Germany tearing the wall down? Anyway, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, Russia, the Soviet Union, the bunch of countries he had captured, he got Gorby to undo the whole thing. 2 terms, glasnost and perestroika. The 2 terms, glasnost and perestroika, were the 2 terms that meant letting people be free again, undo the barriers, and get back and own your stuff and everything. That's what it meant. Yeah. He got Gorby not to be anybody different. No, to be Gorby, be him, just like Kim Jong-un. Trump got that guy to say, you saw him jumping up and down. He wasn't jumping up and down because Trump said, hey, scum North Korea, you get rid of your nukes. We'll keep ours and keep beating you up. No. You're still doing that with Iran. They just want nuclear power. Like, France is 75% nuclear power. And how much are we in the U.S.? Hello? Yeah, come on, get back into communication. We have a solution. When I say we, I'm borrowing from this guy. Oh my God! By the way, if something's good, is it bad? What's his name? Is that upside down? Yeah, it is. I'm looking in the mirror of the camera here. Okay, L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah, got a solution. Yeah, no more wars ever. No way. Yes. 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 Yeah. You'll like it. Gonna tell you about that. So anyway, here we go. So there's a promote. Even Axios, my moderate online news service. I'm so applauding. I knew one of the guys there. Nice guy. So here we go. What does it say? As the Olympics open, in Beijing, China and Russia again declared a no limits quote unquote partnership. Really? Is that what they said, or you're saying they said? Come on, guys, lighten up. Huh? Backing each other on Ukraine and Taiwan, and promising to collaborate more against the West. You're promotive of that. This isn't their quote. You're not quoting them. Come on. Of course, we've never told a fib either. No way. You know, Johnny runs outside and tells his playmates what a jerk his mom is, right? Come on. Leaving out the part about hand in the cookie jar, right? So that when his playmates find out about the hand in the cookie jar, well, it don't make no nothing anyway, because don't mean nothing, right? Because his mom's an old jerk anyway, right? Unless they tell their mom. So here we go today. It's by the way, it does not mean Johnny's a bad guy. No, it doesn't mean you did a dumb thing. Yeah. That's what it means. You're not what you do. Roll back, and there you is. Happiness. You'll be on the floor in pain, laughing. I told you before, and these I shared with you. It's not like I'm telling. I share with you what's happened. Anybody even grabs a little bit of this stuff, this get rid of it Scientology method. Negative gain. You don't get into it. Someone asked me to into it. No, you can't. It gets you out of things you didn't know they were into. If you want to, with the how-to and the can-do, I made that part up because I'm unique. No, you'll love it. No, people use it. A few million, several million. I don't know how. Yeah, it's growing. They get to keep their own church. It doesn't introduce new beliefs or cancel any. No, it's only called one, a religion, because it addresses you as a being. It doesn't introduce new beliefs nor cancel any. Whoa! Save the diapers, guys. Come on. Save the diaper money. Okay, so they're going to back each other. Russia and China. Oh, my God. Involving Ukraine and Taiwan. Why? Well, you're saying it. They aren't saying it. Russia and China didn't say that. There's no Russia and China quote there. Whoa! Are we sheep? Are we sheeple? Okay. President Xi Jinping, right? China president, right? Hosted President Vladimir Putin. He's a hockey player. I like him. Rides horses. I like him. We have an event coming up. They're all going to be doing that. Horses and stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, China guy Jinping hosted Putin with the nations calling their relationship superior to any Cold War alliance. Really? I don't see any quotation marks there. Trying to help you out, guys. I learned this from you guys. Must have learned it from someone. I didn't know it. I don't see them saying that. You're saying they're saying that. You're saying they're doing that. Nah, they don't want trouble. They're not the aggressor. Tucker Carlson is not all bad. No, he's mostly good. And his buddy, Sean Hannity, think of them. Pretty neat guys. You'd want living next door to you if some stranger was coming over and you're gone and your kids are there for a short while in the backyard. Some strangers coming over to bother your kids. Hey, they'd help you. They don't know what political affiliation they have or religious. Those are the neat people, right? Since they're in the limelight, I'm using them as an example. But they made a lot of mistakes. Tucker calls my friends dirty brown people. Holy moly. Really? Is that so? Calls the Latins that, right? Well, some African Americans are black and they're brown skinned. A lot of them sure want to have their picture taken next to Oprah, right? Or Kobe before he died, or Michael Jordan, right? Or Shaq. Shaq's just this big teddy bear. Are you following Shaq? Man, God, that guy's amazing. Oh, did I say God? Yeah. He's just a great guy. He's just a great guy. Yeah. He had what? 30 million more coming from Nike on the contract? And some person, you got to see the interview, some person said to Shaq, hey, you'll know who it was. Said, hey, how can you do this, Shaq? Be selling your Nike shoes for $200 to these poor little black kids. That's wrong. Right in the interview, Shaq said something like, God damn it, you're right. He calls up Nike and says, hi, this is Shaq. Listen, I know you owe the balance. Keep it. It's yours to keep. We'll cancel the deal. You can keep the balance. And he went to Walmart. He said, oh, buddy, and he sold 400 million shoes to Walmart. The kids couldn't afford. They had the neat look and they held up good enough, but the kids could afford them. Shaq looked at you and said, I was wrong. The guy's right. Yeah. Shaq made an error. Boom, he fixed her good. You want a guy like that, a big teddy bear like that as president, right? You know what? You think he was big, right? Tough. They asked this panel of 3 big-name current all-star basketball players on this talk show. You'll know their name. Who's the most difficult to play against? Oh, only 2 people. Shaq and Allen Iverson. Shaq, I'm scared to death of Shaquille, and he'll just bat you right down under the net, right? And the other one's Allen Iverson. They all said the same thing, right? Shaq wasn't big before, tall, but he wasn't that big. He got banged around by other people that are big and a little more advanced than he before he got tough. I guess he went home and his mom said, you got it tough enough. He got banged all over, and they're not going to let him hang under the net as a center, maybe 7 feet, but he's just a 7-footer, like 200 and some pounds, you know? You know, he wasn't huge, no, and he wasn't being tough. Changed. Big teddy bear now. I just like it. It just came up as the talk. Google it. Shaq with his dropping Nike and going with Walmart. Yeah. He said, keep the balance, 30 to 40 mil. That's it. Cheers. You know, he had to break the contract, but they're willing to. They don't have to pay him, but they're losing his sales. No, that's it. Okay, back to this deal. So, I'm not saying bad things about Shaq. I'm telling you good things. Is that okay? Did he ever do wrong thing? I don't know if he did. Why would I talk about that? You see? Look at the good. And they will abandon the stuff that they used because it's now a used to do. It isn't still doing. Get him to do a better thing. We'll tell you about that. And the plan. Hubbard. The gift. So China, Xi Jinping hosted Putin with the nations calling their relationship superior to any Cold War alliance. Maybe they said it, but I don't see it quoted here. And when they can quote these guys, oh, they do. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. What's next? It's hard to look. They vowed to work together on space, climate change, artificial intelligence, and control of the internet. Did they say? Really? Maybe true, but I don't see a quote. And boy, when you do have a quote, you sure stick it to us to spook us, right? Come on, guys. The guys doing this, by the way, by theory, I told you, I shared, weren't before they are. They just resolved thinking that's the way to survive or, to pay the rent. Okay? Yeah. Continuing, this is important, continuing his diplomatic push, Xi Jinping, the China guy, met today with leaders of Serbia, Egypt, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, God, look at this, and hosted a Lunar New Year banquet at Beijing's Great Hall, right? The people, Great Hall of the People, right? It was the first time that a Chinese president joined a gathering of state leaders since before COVID's outbreak, right? Well, that's a good thing, but you're promoting it as if it's a bad thing. On its own, it'd be a good thing. Okay, you're going to like our solution. Oh, you will. Okay, now, here it is. New York Times headlines. Isn't this great? Look at that. It says, Power Games on first day of Olympics. Power Games. Got it? China and Russia. What kind of a crock of crap is it? Why don't you go talk to some of the people we out to that were at the Olympics? So that they had a good time, right? They had a tough time. They were COVID lockdown and stuff. Okay. Now, photo. Look at photo of the week. 82nd Airborne. Look at this. Deploys to Europe. We're just going to show you how you don't have to feel bad about something because, a lot of good things are going on with a lot of good people, and Biden's one of them. His guys out there making mistakes and sounding a little rough, and then maybe they'll back down, but now we get some other information for you. He don't want war. Biden does not want war. You know what? No one does. They're just led to believe that they have to. We're going back to all of them don't want. Promise. Yeah. Hubbard even said once, he said, it isn't really big-headed of us to think or claim that we can do things, right? Before you did things, if you'd have told some people of the things you've done, they'd think you're big-headed, but no, you did the things, right? Yeah, that some haven't done. Okay, some more, some less, some this or that. Okay, good. So there's the Airborne. See what it says. Look at it. Oh, the momentous photo. Oh, it's a momentous photo. I see. Captures the emotion and humanity of a paratrooper with a combat patch from a previous deployment being sent out on a forward position. Really? Guys, I was in the Marines. I don't know if we're equal to the 82nd Airborne. You know, kind of knew a bunch of them and our SEAL buddies, you know. Best I knew was Jesse Ventura, not because he was such a big tough guy, but because he told the truth. Jesse Ventura was a SEAL, 6 years. Remember Jesse the Body, the wrestler that became the governor of Minnesota? He said nicely and politely once, he left his 6-year SEAL duty. He walked out and said it was a scam. At Vietnam stuff. Scam. Who's the most written about, not quoted, written about person in the history of the world? Who? Pertains to all of it. Who? More than Jesus, more than Napoleon, or Ben Franklin? Cassius Clay, who then changed his name to Muhammad Ali. He became a Muslim, which means peace. Islam God. Why? He just said something way back then, and that was pretty much it. They said, hey, you won the Golden Olympics now. You're a good prospector, you're a good professional fighter, but you know what? You're going to Vietnam or jail. He said, I'll take the jail. He didn't run to Canada, took the prison term, right? In his prime, right? Because he said, quote, the quoted thing. Most written about, not quoted, written about God. I don't need to be flown however many, 10, 12,000 miles and told who to kill, unquote. That's why he's the most written about person in the history of the world. Not because he's a great boxer, which he was. No, because he was like, you're a dope, rope a dope, you're ugly, you're a monkey. Hold up a brown fuzzy monkey and put it in the face of his brown skinned people. Top fighter, headhunter, you know, high hands. That's boxing talk for a headhunter, you know. Hit high. Very talented. And the guys he fought were too. Foreman, Fraser, oh yeah. No walk in the park. But he said, no, he's the most written about person in the history of the world, more than Jesus, Napoleon, or Ben Franklin, it says. Google. Guinness World Record, most written about person. Welcome for this, for what we're saying here, our version, which is yours. You don't want people killed. Any of your neighbors, friends, family, entourage, strangers. No, you don't. All beings are basically good at finding a rediscovery by this guy, Hubbard. If it's good, is it bad? Okay, sorry about the mask, people. We're covering up, not for COVID. We had a dental incident, so we're covering. Okay, good. So these airborne guys are boarding this C-17 cargo plane. In the Marines, I was involved with the C-120 and 130, you know, the flying boxcars, yeah. And the helicopter with a rope in the bucket, yeah. So they're at Pope Army Airfield at Fort Bragg, North Carolina on Thursday as they deploy to Europe. Okay, what? Now get this writing. With the U.S. preparing? What? The U.S. isn't quoting. This is its writer. With the U.S. preparing for Russia to invade Ukraine. Planning on it. You're planning on it. You're saying that we are what we look like we are. Not so smart. Forcing others to respond. Tucker Carlson is right. He told politely against his own Fox, you know, warmonger kind of guys. No, Russia's not the aggressor. We are. Trump even said it. Trump said it once, yeah. No more fake wars. He ran on the policy, on the platform. So with the U.S. preparing for Russia to invade Ukraine, Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said Wednesday, see, you're saying with the U.S. preparing for Russia to invade Ukraine, then you're splicing it with our Pentagon Press Secretary. Yeah, John Kirby is the Pentagon Press Secretary. You're splicing with him. He just said Wednesday about the 2,000 troops would move from the U.S. to Europe in the next few days. He didn't say we're preparing for a war. It says with the U.S. preparing for Russia to invade. You're saying that and borrowing this guy with the troops. People, okay, so here is 1,700 82nd Airborne paratroopers flew to Poland. Yeah, there they are, flying. Well, good. Hope they had a good time, you know. Soldiers from the 18th Airborne Corps, also based at Fort Bragg, were sent to Germany. Really? Wow. Now the peacocks, the birds, are invading Miami. You have to move those out. Okay, let's go right here. Now watch this. Look at this. Okay, that's that. The good news is I didn't know this. Yeah, obviously, I wouldn't have when I tell you what it is, okay? Ready? This guy here, there's a mosquito. God, they're big here. Yeah, Hubbard. Wanted to get it right set up. Sorry, the mirror reverses. Okay, so we'll do it like this. No. Hubbard came up with something fantastic. You've already seen a little bit of it. I said no more wars ever. The U.S. has actually done this little trick without realizing it. You've heard of Camp David? That's it. A year-round Camp David. It's not called that. It's called International City. Hubbard pointed out, he just discovered, God, don't believe it, check it out. He showed us things that we used to know, but we're buried. All they have is one thing. All that guy put together is one thing, that Scientology guy. All they do is one thing. Enable you to find out things that you already know. He's the only writer I've read, and I've been to a few of those funny schools and back, and the Ivy League. You don't have to go to those to read everybody. Everybody can read, you know, books are available. The only writer I've read ever who said, you have the answers. Not me, not him, not some, whatever. I don't know how your day went. You don't need someone telling you, huh? Because then they're altering, first of all, what the truth is. He found this out. Don't believe what he says, check it out. The reason that people fight, the countries fight, a key reason, is they're apart. So there's a vacuum. They lack reality. There's no communication, so they lack reality. You see? So there's no affinity. We can be at a party, the wife and I. And we both agree, look at that couple over there looking at you. What a-holes, what jerks. Look at them. You know they are. God, they're awful. Look at them, how they look at us, right? See? It's human nature to dub in the word. Well, look at them. We meet them later. They're the best. We invite them to the barbecue. See, when you lack reality, it's human nature to always dub in the worst. No, don't make yourself wrong. So, when countries are apart, they're way distant. Okay, good. Like we're certainly innocent victims and no one told us Iran was bad. We just, because we haven't been in common with Iran, you see. They're not the bad guys. So because of the distance, there's an empty thing called a vacuum. Because there's no communication, there's no reality, no affinity, no. So you form the international city. You move the capital of every nation into one city. You can take turns and rotate. Oh, good. You know, like they take turns holding the G7, Group 7, and G20, Group 20 summits. Yeah. They do it at Camp David for a couple days or a week. The U.S. guy, all the presidents have used it. Come on. It's a wilderness camp thing just outside of D.C. and Maryland, in the woods and cabins and stuff. He'll invite some guy from another country over, you know, that we're at war with, but the presidents don't shoot each other guns, just our generals do. Come on, hey, come on, we're going to talk about this. Yeah, so the general over there, or the president tells the general, yeah, hold it off, guys, stop the killing for a little bit. I got to meet with the dog. We're going to pull the court, you know, knock back a couple, you know? Yeah, going to hang, yeah. They do it all the time. You see, Camp David, come on, being silly, that's what they do. Some that are sort of friendly, some not friendly, some at war. They've all done this with each president, with each of those types. There's no warring then. Because they really probably, and then start getting along because they're in common. Boom, that's good. I can't give you the resultant details. No, that's not important. If you had that year-round, it's like Congress. You got the Republicans and the Democrats. They don't like each other's policies, but they don't bring chainsaws. Well, I don't know. Anyway, other than that recent thing, but that was okay. It was just a day of tourism. Yeah, they don't shoot each other. No, you can't bring guns into Congress. No. No, they don't do that. So there you go. In England, you think we're rough and the arguing? No, in England, if somebody has a microphone, others shout over him while he's talking. It's terrible. Parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rule of Orders. I aver, meaning I disagree, Mr. Chairman. We say here, I'm losing my time. Credit me with 30 seconds. So-and-so wanted to bring up something, you know. No, the chairman will say, excuse me, finish your sentence, sir. Okay, good. You know, so, hey, they shout over each other in England and other countries. I don't know what they do, you know. I don't know what they do. So the point is this. No, they're not bad. They're kind of all similar. So the point is this. International city. He came up with this thing. A permanent Camp David. Yeah. It's a permanent, it's a way of no wars until what? How do you handle the country? Well, certain positions have to be held to run it until what? We handle countries, each individual. Well, they vote as individuals, right? Each individual gets rid of life's layers. I can't possibly overstate what that's like. Get rid of things that aren't you. It's junk. It's negative gain. That counseling. It's amazing. Yeah. See, psychiatry, for example, tells the person what's wrong. This thing lets the person tell, gee, a little bit of difference there. Yeah. Really? Yeah. It's amazing. It's all sorted out in a very specific way we told you. Listen to the earlier tapes. We won't go into that. Now, we can't cover everything in this one. But I'm telling you. Yep. And then we told you about how... So how does this fit you? You get your own life cleaned up, and that's the total of the country. And eventually you won't have to worry about wars. In the meantime, how do we handle the people in charge? He says there's an amazing secret sauce to handling guys who haven't yet cleaned up their own. Not us, of course, needing that. No, we didn't mess up a marriage. You don't think that's a big thing? To the wife, her entire heart, soul, and body was in that thing. Or if she messed up, same thing. Come on. It's as big as it's her whole life. What's bigger than your life? Her life. That's a nuking of her whole everything. Fix that up, right? But how about guys in D.C.? How do they fix them? Well, here's how you do it. Hubbard says, if their program's up and running and not so cool, or maybe a little insane, again, not ours, but theirs, right? Because they're the ones that got there, right? Good people typically doing good stuff, but then something not so good, or some doing chronically good. Welcome to the 550 some people, right? I was told by one of them, my friend, he let me. He's not the gripey type, but he said, frankly, those are 550 some people who will say, do, and spend anything to get reelected. They didn't start that way. Like people going to law school, didn't start out to become a shyster, or a schmuck, or a white honky, or a whatever, or a griper type, minority type. All those types that become lawyers that seem to be biased toward one type. No, they didn't intend that. But then the bills pile up, the country club membership, the cars, the kids in school and college and all that. You got to pay all that. So maybe they evolve some. They have to make money. They'll help some poor grandmother people are picking on, right? The next week they'll be hired to beat up some grandmother, you see? Not all, some. No. We don't get rid of car repair places because the hidden camera showed one was harming people, right? No. We want the car repair places, just handle the one that was whatever. But here's how to really do it. You don't handle the person. No! Program's up and running and crazy. Yep. 3 things we told you. It's so key for right now. 1, don't combat them. This is what you know. Don't combat them because you become turbulated, enraged. Like a plane flying and it hits, turbulence, goes like that. Turbulated, yeah. Number 2, don't try and stop them. You'll lose because they have to have a game. Door number 3, shovel more problems along to them, but better problems. He says this. Hubbard was a lieutenant in the Navy, right? He said, you want to go from a lower rank to an admiral overnight? Just shovel a whole bunch of problems on there. They'll love it. Better ones. So, but singly, he says the brilliant thing, and we'll see how it can apply to you. Yeah, he says this. Listen. He says, the old adage, if you build a better mousetrap, the entire world, the whole world will be past your door. You've heard that right. He said, had they just put in one word, problem. Yeah. Give them a better problem, bigger one, and your problem can be a sane one, S-A-N-E, sane, thus effectively pulling their attention off of the crazy one. You see? Reagan did it with Gorbachev. A little child is 2 and it's all upset. Something got re-stimulated and it's all making trouble and fussing and stuff. And the mother holds up this little toy, rattled thing, and all of a sudden the baby starts to smile. It gave it a better thing. It's the same thing. Reagan did it with Gorbachev. Hey, you're governor in Florida. We're down here in Florida. He said, no. Don't bring, a little different word. Don't bring that federally mandated vaccine thing here. No, let the people choose like all the ones before that we have. We have blues and all this stuff, you see? Yeah, he spoke up. A little bit more of in a dictatorial basis, yeah. But he did something that helped because he wants you to get back to work again so you don't die of the virus of starvation. I don't agree with some of the other things he's doing, you know. And here's the solution. He and some of the Republicans, speaking of front lines now, are getting laws passed so you can't vote in the more Democrat areas. Actually passing laws, 114 or 141 bills presented to Congress and some passed saying you cannot vote. You can't write in, where they would mostly have to write in because they work different hours, or this. You can't provide water for someone where you can live. What's this crazy stuff? Yeah, they're afraid. It's gone down the chute. We allowed it. 2 wrongs, commission, where you commit a wrong. Ooh. Omission, whereby your inaction, others were harmed. You might think, well, I didn't intend that they're harmed, like the commission. Well, I lacked a little intention to step up. Yeah, there's a little book here. This is transcripts. I think we've probably written notes in here. I don't know. See, we got notes because we liked it. Wow. The State of Man, Congress by Hubbard. I like that. Yeah, these are written 10 years after Kennedy was elected. So, into Johnson took over Kennedy, then Nixon, yeah. Anyway, he talks about how you can do things. Again, we told you can volunteer again on a committee, be paid staff, or run for office. But anyway, you can do things. You can get in touch, or have someone you know with a better line to the person, a better connection. Get in touch. Just do something. He points out, I like this, Hubbard said, the one thing you must not do is nothing. Yeah? And we talked about this weird, crazy thing in the other talks. It is a little weird, but you do it. And you're the one that told me. We asked you, have you ever heard of, or if it ever happened to you, you thought of someone, and the phone rang. What? And then I come in with neat words. I say, well, I don't know what you guys talked about, but we both know one thing, don't we? You didn't use bodies to talk. Woo! Don't pick on me, that's you. That's you doing that a lot and you don't realize it. So you can actually think of somebody, like praying for somebody. You're talking to him, geez, I'm praying that you get well. You're actually sending a communication like you did to the guy, and then he calls you. Yeah, you are. Yeah, but you forget it. Don't worry, you'll have it back. You won't be able to handle it all at once. Don't do it. It's a big gulp. I say don't do the big gulp. You couldn't anyway. Do a little bit. I've only done a little bit of this stuff. Whatever in God's name this stuff is. Getting rid of stuff that isn't you. It's real weird, you know. Let's see, what can I use in the couple minutes left? Some comments. These are little snippets I've learned along the line, along the years of stuff this guy's written, this Hubbard, you know. Yeah, let's demonize someone who's good. Yeah. My goodness sakes. What did we say? Yeah, he's kind of I guess, overnight success. What do they call it? Flash in the pan. Yeah, that's what he is. A flash in the pan. It has a 3. I told you, a 3 in front of it. 33 or 38 years he worked out of his pocket for you. Turned out over a half a century, yeah. No, he's not a science fiction writer. He's a science fiction. No, you're loaded with fiction. Things that aren't you, junk, layers, crap, try to get rid of them. No, he's a science fiction writer. No, check his career. The magazines were the deal back then. Pulp fiction, pulp, you know, paper, magazines, fiction. If you're good, you get to keep writing or something. He wrote action, adventure, romance. Get Panny a word. He wrote different names. His name, Rene Lafayette, and then one, it's real serious. He used a pen name of Remington Winchester Colt. Wow. Boy, it's so serious. Yeah. Let's demonize and check it. That's his history. At the end of the career, I guess the story goes, the science fiction guys came to him and said, yo, Ron, he said, listen, you're kind of a good writer. Would you write some stuff to sort of humanize science fiction a little? He said, okay, but that's kind of what happened. I could care less. I never liked science fiction. My neighbor would read that stuff. You nuts? What is this crap? Garbage. Science-y fiction version of something real. No. I didn't know it. It's the opposite. It's before an egg beater existed. It's a plea. Would you make an egg beater? It's not a science fiction, crazy nut version of an egg beater. No, it's before there was one. Yo, would you make one? I didn't know that. among other things. It's important. What do you call him a science fiction writer for? Fiction. Are you fiction? Because he's writing about how you can get to your own truth. Is that fiction? Huh? That's all he's doing, enabling you to find out things you already knew and get rid of them. Get rid of them. You plus junk. You are not the things you do. Good news. Now you do something good, get credit. Holy moly, right? Not good, fix it best you can. But are you what you do? Again, we say she made shoes. Are you into the shoes? No, even a good batch. Are you into the shoes? Come on, come on, come on. What's up with that, you know? No, get rid of it. You know, sometimes we get a little down, this, that, whatever, and things didn't always go right or perfect. You think, you don't even tell people that there's something wrong with you, yeah. Or some guys there's something wrong with them, right? Or you, right? So the real interesting question is, you'll like the second part. You won't like the first part. You know what's wrong with you and those people that you know about? You know what's wrong with you? Nothing. How can a not thing be things? Wrongs are things. You're a being. Well, might as well tell you the truth. There's always a catch. We try to tell you this best we can. We've been lied to. You'll see. You'll agree when I tell you this. Yeah, we've been lied to and totally BS and is a way to control us. We've been lied to by being told we have a soul. That's the catch. You might as well know. Surprise, always a catch. All this is crap, right? Yeah, you've been told you have a soul. You've been lied to. That's how they manipulate you. How can you have a soul when you are a soul? It'd be like saying you have a car when you are the car, but I assure you, you're not a car or the carcass, the body. No. You don't have a soul. You are the soul, spirit, and being. And a spirit is a weird thing to revisit to see what one of those is. He gives a very specific definition, discovered and gently written out so you can kind of know what you are. You're a being. You have no mass, no motion, no particular location in space or in time. You're something that you just decided to be, and you can make considerations. He has these observable things listed in a book. Number 1, 2, 3, okay? The axioms, the factors of life. 1, before the beginning, get a copy. These are the factors of the axiom. I think these are the factors, right? All right, and you notice, 1, before the beginning, I'll just try to remember this, there was a cause, and the entire purpose of the cause was the creation of effect. Before the beginning, there was a cause, okay? In the beginning was the decision, and the decision was to be forever. And then from beingness, one can have viewpoints, and from viewpoints there are dimension points, the space is created. Go get it, hush, go off in a room, quiet, look at that stuff and walk through it. Crap will blow out of the way, you'll see it. The whole thing is there. The discovered, whatever the heck, 30-some years, the homework out of his pocket. Yeah, his pocket. He don't own that, make any money or nothing. His estate got book royalties, right? Donated the whole thing. Yeah. That's all I got was book royalties. He's not part of those things. He's never been connected with those Scientology organizations since, was it 1966 or so? He turned it over, yeah. No. Kept doing more research and fed to them the solutions. Thank you. Yeah. Been lied to about a guy. And the guy that took over, this Miscavige person, David Miscavige, if you only knew, it frightens me that he wouldn't still be around to carry things a little further, as he so incredibly has done so far. I don't know who else. I kind of know some of them in the group, There's some pretty darn neat people around and working with him. They could do a pretty good job. They are, along with him. But to think that when you find out who he is and what he's done, not being told or asked to believe, find out. This David Miscavige. He's been a real buddy of yours. He's the one that kept the darn thing alive and made the materials available that I can even tell you about. You might be telling him better than me. I know some that can. Yeah, that's right. So guys, all we're saying is, we started out saying no more of this crap. No. This stuff about the thing on the front lines going on. No. New York Times, Power Games, first day of the Olympics. Oh, they mean well. The airborne, all this, all that. Wow. Really? Really? Yeah? So, one more thing. This is another reason for fighting. It's called the third-party law. This is heavy, 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 heavy. See it? Third-party law. It's in the Scientology ethics book. Yeah, check it out. He says, I have for a very long time studied the causes of violence and conflict amongst individuals and nations. Get a copy of this. It's free online. You can just get a copy. Yeah. And he talks about a law must exist. He says a third party must be, a law must be there. A third party must be, he gives examples before this, I'll just read it quickly. A third party must be present and unknown in every quarrel for a conflict to exist. Or for a quarrel to occur, an unknown third party must be active in producing it between two potential opponents. Or, lastly, while it is commonly believed to take two to make a fight, a third party must exist and must develop it for actual conflict to occur. And he gives examples of nations that went by the wayside and all that. Yeah, I'm not going to read all those. No. How's the timer here? Okay. He says it's very easy to see that two in conflict are fighting. They're very visible. What is harder to see or suspect is that a third party existed and actually promoted the quarrel. The usually unsuspected and reasonable third party, the bystander who denies any part of it, is the one that brought the conflict into existence in the first place. Okay? Yeah. The hidden third party, seeming at times to be a supporter, one who supports only one side, is found to be the instigator. This is a useful law on many dynamics, areas of life. It is the cause of war. And also the dissonance in the international city, that stops it now. And then this permanentizes it, plus each getting rid of their layers of life, okay? Yeah. One sees two fellows shouting bad names at each other, sees them come to blows. No one is around. So they, of course, caused the fight. But there was a third party. Tracing these down, one comes upon an incredible data. This is the trouble. The incredible is too easily rejected. One way to hide things is to make them incredible. Yeah. He gives examples. Okay. So now, what about this stuff? This talk about, Scientology and money. Money, what do you mean? This stuff online free. You can take a class online with a live person walking you through with a buddy, and you can counsel each other. They don't want you buying the counseling by the hour. No, you take a class. It's quality, oh yeah, and you counsel each other. It's free. That's the lower level. The second level, the medium level, no, you'd have to go in and buy a course. Oh my God, like going to school, one course. And you and a buddy end up taking that very standard course, counsel each other. That's free. They don't want to study counseling. Then the upper level, yeah, you got to pay for it. Oh, you'll want to. No, I didn't say they'll tell you you want to. No, I said you'll want to. And it must be affordable. See? So you've been lied to. Good people, meaning well. Sometimes people treat others the way they were treated, you see? And any of this junk going on, we're helping you with a review of comments we've made. Any of this junk going on. Remember, people doing wrongs, you're right. Wrongs are wrongs. No, you're right. Come on. But they weren't before they are. And they can each be handled by going back to the basic that they are, which is good, and the stuff later are called lies, and the lies blow away. We got to run. This is Saturday, the 5th of Feb. We'll be back. We're not leaving. Might have done that once. We're not leaving, okay, until we get this done. And we're going to show you how to get back in the driver's seat in areas you won't believe. We'll get more specific on how you can get people to do it. Like the thought of someone, the phone ring, you can actually do that. Put thoughts in. Yeah, you can do that. Or have a friend who's linked to them. Anyway, it's going to get better, guys. Better problems. All right.